she's a Friday. Hawaiian T-shirt day. Rhett, Cami, Pinder. How is everyone today?
Disappointed in myself.
Had an opportunity.
We're missing the Hawaiian shirt.
I'll bet you there's one in here.
Do you think there's a
motorcycle-themed
Hawaiian T-shirt?
I think
at the very least, a nice, tasteful leather vest.
Yeah, you could definitely find a leather vest.
Definitely
here, for sure. Welcome to the Motorcycle Show. We are at the BMO Center here supporting our great partners, McLeod Law. They are here because they are tied in with a phenomenal charity called One Broken Biker. It is a nonprofit organization, 100% volunteer-based, and gives compassionate services to Canadian injured motorcyclists. So they're partners of them. They're here. We're partners with McLeod. We're here. We got a trade to talk about. Flames played last night.
Circle of life.
It's a Friday. It's everything is happening, I believe, is the terminology.
Is that? It's the circle of life.
Everything
it's all tied
is
together.
happening.
Yeah.
The doors open at 11 if you have nothing to do today.
I'm not sure how I got in then.
Yeah, we all kind of found different ways to
finagle our way into the building.
I had a great warm-up walk this morning.
Yeah, you got
this is a very big building.
I felt like the little match girl. I came in on the wrong side, and it's -7. I've got my poor little coffee, and I'm like pawing at the door, trying to catch the attention of a security guard. RJ had to come save me.
The good news is it's not Saturday or Sunday's weather. It is about to get very, very cold. And as we predicted last night on the trade show, frost arriving in Cal.
Terrible.
Sorry. I'll take a shovel for that. Where's Boomer? We need a shovel.
Yes,
Where's Boomer?
Where's Boomer?
Where's Boomer? Boom, what are you doing? You're not showing up today?
No.
Cami, thank you for apparently filling in for the
injured.
He's on IR. Yeah. He's on IR.
Day to day with hurt feelings?
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. Day to day for sure. Not much for weekends or evenings, but yeah, okay.
I saw a marriage counseling banner on my way up to the BMO Center today. Should we call in them for you guys?
That's really funny for
That
people
would actually be a fascinating show.
Yeah, people that aren't married love talking about that. Like it's a funny joke, isn't it?
Good thing.
That's they'll get a kick out of this.
No, I think that would be an excellent podcast. We get a therapist, we sit down, you guys, and boom, and we
I think the idea
the
behind
lines
the
of
therapist is that you have closed doors so that everyone's not
the whole
part of it.
Filming the therapy. Not sure that's a thing. This program is brought to you by Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. Open an account with Bet365 today, and you can bet on a huge range of markets. Rhett famously found the coffee salami.
I had a good one yesterday.
Earlier this week. Verona, Genoa.
I had a great one yesterday. It didn't come through. NCAA basketball.
Okay.
Kid's name. So James Madison.
Yeah.
And who's taking over the world in the States along with Donald Trump?
I mean, a lot of people.
Elon.
Yeah.
So Elon, James Madison.
Okay.
Parlay bet. No.
Didn't come through.
Didn't come through. Come on.
Elon let you down. It's like his underground tunnels. We're waiting still, Elon. Let's go.
Start drilling. Drill, baby, drill.
Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. And if you haven't got the app, well, first off, let's get going here. But use that promo code NATION when you sign up. Okay, so I was in the room with Cami when the trade broke. We were having some tech issues at the studio. She was on Afterburner. I happened to be there. Jack calls. He's like, looks like we have a trade. Be ready to go. Where was Rhett Warner? What were your reactions as the information trickled out towards the public from Connie and Dan Briere as the Flyers and Flames make a monster swap?
I'm going to show you a photo of where I was. I was sitting around. It was beautiful out last night. This is where I was. I was around the fire pit out by the lake. The kids were skating.
The ODR. Okay.
And I had no idea what was going on. I saw a Let's Go Live, and I ignored it.
You just
and I didn't know why. And oddly enough,
Rhett chose Rhett last night.
The shoveler had told me that she must be on social media, that Pelche had gotten injured and was out of the game.
Close. I mean, he did get removed from the game, yes.
So that's,
The order of events was we had a very late Andrei Kuzmenko scratch. Which
had the flu.
But they also had the, morning skate photos. And the two guys that the Flames, I'm sure coincidentally, took photos of is Pelche and Kuzmenko.
Foreshadowing.
Maybe. I don't know that the photographer and the social team were in cahoots, but it turned out that way, which was a little bit silly or just coincidental.
So
a late scratch from Kuzmenko, and then everyone's antennas up, and you see insiders sort of saying like, hang on here, hang on. Go get a water if you need to.
Yeah,
Cami,
I might.
That's fine.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
just kill Cami's mic and she can go get her agua.
But for me, it was funny because then I went in and sat on the couch and turned the game on,
Right.
and they were just calling the game. They
Yeah.
had, during the play-by-play, they're not alluding to, they're not
No.
breaking to the trade all the time, and it hadn't been confirmed, I think, or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Then a guy came to pick up his kid from my house, and he started to talk, and we were having
It's
the
like,
most.
what do you think of this trade?
Yeah, we were having the most awkward conversation. I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Not an insider.
I'm not an insider.
Not an
No,
insider.
not at all.
But someone that can react to it. So after we hear Kuzmenko's a scratch, Pelche gets pulled from the game after 20 minutes, does not return. The Flames tweet it ominously. Jacob Pelche is done for the game. Not injured. They're usually like with a lower, with an upper. May return, just won't return.
He's
You're like,
out.
ooh, okay. And then people start circling around. Okay, we know it's the Flyers. Who's on the Flyers that would fit the bill for the Flames? And the first name everyone started talking about was Morgan Frost because he's a centerman. He's 24, and he's having some torts issues in Philly. So that was sort of the starting framework. Then you hear it's Joel Farabee, and then it's like, okay, well, what else is going to Philly? Because I don't know that an expiring guy and someone on waivers 3 months ago is enough for those two. Sure enough, 2 more picks. What are the picks? Are they early? Are they late? Well, one of each, a second rounder this year, of which the Flames, I believe, have 2, and a 7th rounder in a million years, which is worth nothing. So essentially a second rounder, Kuzmenko and Pelche for Joel Farabee, an American with 3 years left at $5 million. Scored 22 last year. Hasn't been a torts guy, but has some moxie at a good world championships. And Frost, the skilled young centerman that, depending on your view of Connor Zary, the Flames either do or don't have one of them in the whole system.
So I've yet to hear anyone think the trade isn't a good trade.
I think when you look at the group of assets that Connie started with and you look at the group that he acquires, there's no question you'd rather have Farabee and Frost.
Yeah, and Pelche might turn out to be one hell of a player, and that second rounder might be good as well. But I think that you've done the things you need or want to do as a GM and to help your team, and they did it early, so maybe it's
get a little bump for scoring, right?
Yep, but a bump going in. It makes tons of sense as far as the Flames are concerned.
I agree, and if we just keep that up for a bit longer, let's remember that Jacob Pelche could have been had for what in October? Free. And let's also think about where we thought Andrei Kuzmenko's trade value was when he was being healthy scratched and stuck at 2 goals in mid-January.
There's a wide variance there for that Kuzmenko, and it might be gone now because he's done it with 2 teams. At the start of the year, you're thinking if he can come
40
out,
goal guy, maybe. Wow,
we're going to get a first rounder for this guy.
Totally.
Then it was we can't give him away.
Yeah.
And it's now it's up to him.
Yeah, it is. And
he came to Calgary needing that fresh start after falling on the wrong side of Vancouver, and his numbers are really similar to what he was doing when Vancouver's like, we got to get him out of here.
Yeah, and the coaching's different. Like, you know what I mean? Some players respond different to different coaches.
Yeah,
that's fine. Tocchet goes in, and he's not a Tocchet guy. Okay, that's Huska is not Tocchet, and not to make Huska seem like he's soft on his players, but he's not probably in the same vein as a Tocchet. So now Kuzmenko has a chance to play under a different coach and still doesn't really perform.
But was great after the deadline.
Be easier?
It's anyway. No, I don't. I'm just saying that's why I worry for Kuzmenko.
Yeah, it feels like a Hail Mary. Like this is his last chance to prove he's an NHLer. They get the young first rounder in Pelche, which I love what Jacob Pelche's done in the last 3 weeks. I want to say
he's proven himself again.
He went to the A, got back to work, came back. The energy's infectious. I still sort of think of his ceiling as a 3rd-line energy guy.
That's fine.
And he'll probably start as a 4th-line energy guy in Philly. But the ceilings on the 2 Flyers players are significantly higher than that.
But I think that they'd seen enough of him, and that's would be my worry. But I'm a big believer in fresh starts. First of all, the worry is that Philly's seen them the most and let those 2 guys go. But I think it more so for Philly, they're just saying we're going in a whole. We know what we are, and we're not good enough. So we're going to start making changes.
Well, and cap space will help them too.
Exactly. They're not worried about this year.
No.
If Kuzmenko turns into something, they might trade him before.
Sure.
In a month.
Well, I don't know if you guys mentioned it while I was easing the throat a little bit. Got the black lung, left half the lung back over there actually. But the hope has to be that Kuzmenko is a strong foil for Matvei Michkov, his former St. Petersburg team.
Yeah, they only overlapped. I looked for like 13 or so games because Mishka was very young at St. Petersburg, and
yeah, he didn't spend the whole season up.
I think he got loaned to Sochi at some point, or it was even the year before he went to Sochi. But anyway, he's a young up-and-coming guy. He's probably 17-year-old season or something like that. And Kuzmenko was just lighting it up, and he's going to the NHL next year. I don't even know if they played together, but
anyway,
it can't hurt when guys from the other side of the world put them together and be like, oh, okay, at least I can, native tongue. And I remember that guy we played with, like, at least there's some comfortability there. It's not like he's going into a room where he knows no one. These are our opening statements, by the way. We do them for McLeod Law. Call Peter Klein, 403-254-3864. Head online, visit mcleod-law.com, and on social media at McLeod Law LLP. They're also here today, right by the One Broken Biker Stand, a great charity that they're supporting. And the reason we're here at the motorcycle show at the BMO
we're here to buy
Center.
a bike.
Well, you are, yes. Yeah. But again, multitasking.
Side by side.
Side by, you want the little side hatch for the shoveler?
I'm very tippy.
You get the goggles with the shoveler and the side one, and then you.
Me and Joey Juno.
Did you do that?
Joey Juno had a bike.
A sidecar?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
We used to drive
Did you
around.
fit in the sidecar?
We were so bored in Buffalo that when we got traded there at the end of the year '99, we'd go boot around and I'd just sit in the sidecar like a loser.
Get some leather goggles
on like
on.
Snoopy.
Yeah.
Well, if you were out in that sidecar and something horrible happened to happen, at least you'd know you could go to Peter Klein, our personal injury guy, right?
That's right.
Also, he's the guy to go to if you're having an issue with your long-term disability insurance claim. That's something you paid for, you should get, right? Contact Peter. He'll get you the disability benefits you paid for and you deserve. He will get you that peace of mind back, the peace of mind you paid for. McLeod Law, again, on socials, at McLeod Law LLP. We'll stick with the comments. I think absolutely they get a better group of assets. These are not old players they bring in. Flames actually get younger in this deal because Meko's 29, and you had a 25 and a 24-year-old. Pelche's 23. Cami, you've had a bunch of time to digest it, including last night's Afterburner. Big takeaways on the deal?
I think the big thing is that you're bringing in guys who haven't hit their prime yet, who will be eager for a fresh start, who are also under team control.
Yeah.
That's a big
RFA
one.
for Frost this summer. Where that number starts is an interesting conversation. He's a center, and I think the last third of the year matters in terms of whether the Flames say, okay, we'll qualify
for 1 year. It's a great spot for both because
totally,
the team and the player. The player gets to prove a point, and the team gets to get comfortable with them. So
yeah, and then it's like, okay, is this a fit? Is this not? He's a very skilled center, but not huge, and it wasn't going to work with Torts. And I think sometimes we worry about, like if Tocchet doesn't like this guy or Torts doesn't like this, why is it going to work? Well, fresh start's a big piece. Yep. Can you relay an instance or an example of a guy where you're just I don't think it's happening, and then you see him under a different regime, you're like, okay, there it is.
The league is littered with players that just go to other places and play better or as good or feel better, and there will be a bump every time you get traded. I feel like these guys come in and have a little more energy, and I'm guessing things around the rink, and I think Torts is a hell of a coach.
Yeah,
but I think he is hard on guys, and it can get a little dreary at times. So
he also just has guys that he's like, they're my guys, and other guys that he's always grinding with.
Yep.
Like I think of
and most coaches
Couturier last year, like their captain.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. He was on
and then that's
right after he was named captain.
Yeah, and then it's like your future star Michkov is like, yeah, he's going to be in the press box a bunch this year, and you're like, why is it always so hard, Torts? Why is it always so hard?
But I do think anyway. It's not about Torts, about Frost and Farabee coming here and playing hard. The only question you have with those two kids is, do they fit into the room and are they part of the culture of the team? Because they have a good culture right now.
Yeah,
like they have a team feel to them. I'm talking about the Flames.
Yeah,
and do you disrupt it at all? I don't think you do. I don't think Kuzmenko was a problem in the room, but I also don't think he was a focal point. And Pelche hasn't even been around. I think they all like Pelche, but they're probably looking at it. If I'm in that room, I'm looking at this going, thank you very much, Craig Conroy.
Yep. And if you're Craig Conroy, you said, fellas, you deserve this.
Yeah.
I made a strong case for this team to not go crazy to try to, just be the 8 days in jet fuel. But that's easier said than done. When you're in an organization and you see players go above and beyond expectations and put themselves in a spot, and your owner's saying, hey, like playoff revenue, and it's not rentals, right? These are guys that are of similar age as your Zarys and Coronados and Kevin Ball. Like, this is part of.
It's not sod.
If they can turn into core players, this is a huge coup for Connie.
Huge coup. Now the fear is if you're just a third line winger, $5 million, they fall out of trees. Third line wingers, it seems. But I think that would be a pretty negative outlook on what Farabee is. The people that saw World Championships loved them last year. Yeah, I think it's again. Have I done deep dives and watched these two players play a bunch of hockey? No, just listening to people talk. This is a stab you have to take.
Yeah,
it fills holes. It's the age group. It's team control, like you said. I don't know where the downside is. Pelche, to me, I'm with you. I liked Pelche. No dislike for him at all. What's he turning into?
I don't worry about losing a 30-goal second line winger. I really don't. You could lose a great energy third liner, but again, those are
even if he is a second liner, one of these two guys coming in has just as good a chance at having better numbers or as good as Pelche. Kuzmenko was a lost cause. Sadly, we were all excited about it.
I think we can look back at it, and maybe in a few years we'll be able to say it was all worth it because a key part of that trade was also Hunter Brustevich.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
He was having a really strong campaign with the Wranglers.
And if Frost and Farabee turn into players, you're like, Kuzmenko wasn't nothing. Like, he was one of three pieces that helped them get those guys in.
If these guys are here for 6 years, 7 years, and there's some, this is I love it. It's a hockey trade for the Flames. It's a bit of I think, dump or admittance of what the Flyers are. But for me, I don't care what the Flyers are.
Yeah,
you do you.
Oh, we're starting to see a real string of maybe not blockbuster trades, but smart trades from Craig Conroy.
Hockey deals, And the cap going up is a big part of that. We'll talk about it in the Pinder Report, but when the cap isn't so hard that you have to maybe move all these other things just to make the money work, now you can just make hockey deals.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean there isn't sort of cap implications of this. I think the Flyers are free or clear of everything if they want to be this summer. And that for a team in that market with some of the young star power, they can pivot. But this wasn't like a deal you had to get done during COVID where it's like, oh my God, the money, we're up like 20 grand. You got to eat it. We need a broker. Like, no, it's just two teams.
Who's going on long-term IR? Folks?
Yeah, totally. We want your thoughts on the deal. Send them in. You want to get the front of the queue. We do that with our super chats. They're in support of the Youth Centers of Calgary, a great cause. The Youth Center of Calgary is a place where kids are welcomed after school, maybe before their family gets home, whether it's a warm meal, opportunity to read a book, hang with friends, play sports, instruments, whatever it is. A great charity to help youth in our city and get away some of the stress that might be around them when they're at home or school or somewhere in between. If you got a super chat, send it in. Jack will get our attention, and we'll run it to the front of the queue. I have two more thoughts on the trade, and we're expecting Darren Dreger rated half pass. So as soon as he gets in there, we'll jump to him. But Frank, we had on, who broke the trade last night. We had a live stream of the trade. We had some details when it started. We had the full deal in its completion by the end of the show. Frank came on for 10 minutes with us, and he said this was a very, very patient GM move from Craig Connor, that they'd been talking about Morgan Frost since September, August. And I think it is a reminder that it's easy to say go get a guy, but to wait and understand that the price has to be right. I think he deserves a tip of the cap. Like, he got Pelche back up to a value where he was an asset again after no one wanted him on waivers. They've got the best looking version of Kuzmenko this year in the last little bit. Now you get the guys you've been waiting for instead of maybe having to part with a first rounder or something like that.
Yeah, and we can tons of praise for Connie to do it and the way it played out. Briere has to agree to it at the end of the day,
and
too.
from their perspective, it might have just been enough torts fatigue where it's like, look, we can't ride this asset to zero. Like, it's not going to work here. It's time.
This is a pretty good deal. Let's get it done. All the deals have to work for both sides. So it's you absolutely give Conroy credit, but it still doesn't get done unless Briere decides to cut bait.
Yeah, it's just that, that persistence to stay with it. No, I called about Frost a month ago. They said no. It's like, no, keep checking in.
Well, if he's not being,
that's the job
my buddy.
So they kicked the tires earlier in the season, and then post game last night, Conroy says this really actually only started ramping up early in the day yesterday.
It felt like there had been a lot of communication regarding certain players involved, and that for whatever reason, it came to a head in Philadelphia yesterday, where it's like, okay. Like, we can't be scratching 24-year-old
GM or an agent phoning Briere going, what the F is going on with my guys? Like, I have no idea you give him credit for the deal because it's a good deal for the Flames now and hopefully for years to come.
The Calgary Flames heading into last night's action, actually coming out of it, tied for fifth from the bottom in goal scoring. Yep. They've added 2 guys that, if things go well, will give them a little more pop offensively. That is a big life raft for a team that struggled mightily to score through the first 2/3 of the season. Let's get to our NHL Insider. We do that for our good pals at Crystal Waters. You just had them over the other day. We saw the sticker on the hot water tank. It is about to get to about a minus $1 billion here. So don't be shy. Let's make sure these things are working ahead of time. And if you are in a bit of an emergency, Crystal Waters is your crystal clear choice for all residential plumbing, heating, and cooling services. We're talking over 30,000 jobs completed and 23 years of experience in the market. Let's make sure your home's ready for the cold snap, Brett. It was plus 13 a couple days ago. Get ready for dash 30. We hope it's warmer where our insider is. Let's head to the hotline for Crystal Waters. Is our insider from TSN, Darren Dreger.
Got a suit on.
He's looking very fancy. Dreg, you off to speak at the local legislator. What are you doing here?
Yeah, sadly, this segment has to be cut short a little bit. I do have a TV assignment that I have to do.
Right.
And, the luxuries of modern technology, I'll be doing it from the same chair that I'm sitting in for this. So literally what I'm not even going to put a tie on for national TV.
Well, I got to tell you right now that you look sharp. You don't have to change a damn thing, Drake.
No, so dress up with his leather vest.
Yeah. We're at the motorcycle show here, Dregs.
I like it.
I don't know that you'd fit in here. You might get beaten up and your wallet stolen. But
hey, I still have my leather chaps on, though. You're just seeing.
I was gonna say, we don't see the bottom.
Yeah.
So a wild 24 hours. Obviously, Calgary front and center with the Flames Flyers swap. Tell us what you know about how the deal came to be, and then just your takeaways for both the Flyers and the Flames.
Well, it's one of those rare ones. So as you guys know, we do insider trading on TSN every Tuesday and Thursday. And just weirdly, I communicated with both Calgary and Philadelphia yesterday morning. Wasn't anything going on. And in fact, both management groups said, you know what, it might take until literally up to the start of the Four Nations or beyond that for the market to shift a little bit. So now in follow-up, I think what happened was obviously there was communication between Craig Conroy and Danny Briere. A deal of this significance doesn't just fall in your lap.
Right.
But I think one side started to get a little bit more anxious, or there was a little bit more flexibility. I'm not sure which side that was, to push it forward in some degree. And then it just started to evolve as the afternoon went on. A Flame source told me a short while ago, they really didn't get into the nuts and bolts of it until about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So then that explains why, it didn't happen basically until the conclusion of both games, even though it was being widely reported on and the players were speculated on. So my thoughts on the trade, I think the Calgary Flames did exceptionally well in this. I really do. I look at Morgan Frost, who I've got a fun little side story I'll tell you in a second about. I think he's looking for more opportunity, maybe a fresh start. John Tortorella isn't for everybody. And I'm not saying that Morgan Frost didn't appreciate the teachings and the coaching of Tortorella. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. It's just, I think that Morgan Frost has more to give. We have not seen the top end of his game yet. So he's got more opportunity, I think, in Calgary. And sure, that comes with a little bit of risk. I think the Flyers had him pegged at around $4 million as a restricted free agent at the end of the year. And that may not seem like a ton, again, for a player of this ilk. But for the Philadelphia Flyers, that's a team that's trying to create more cap space, because they want to get to a place where they can be big game hunters again. And that's in the not too distant future, maybe as early as the offseason. And then you look at Joel Farabee, again, a real good piece. Nice ad by the Calgary Flames, but that contract for what Philadelphia is trying to do is prohibitive. And it kind of gets in the way. And because of that money, because of the deal, believe it or not, there wasn't a ton of interest in Farabee on the trade market beyond what we saw in Calgary. So now let's flip it and go back to, okay, well, why Philadelphia? There is a historical relationship between Matvei Mishkov and Andrei Kuzmenko. and that should help the kid in Philadelphia. Kuzmenko isn't a soft player, so he should be okay with working in the environment of John Tortorella. Let's see how that plays out. In Peltier, that's interesting. I know the Philadelphia Brass and Jones and Briere speak highly of him. Again, opportunity expectation is what it is. But where the Philadelphia Flyers are trying to get to, I think they feel like they did okay. But if I had to grade this trade, I would grade it heavily in favor of the Calgary Flames. So now real quickly back to my and Rhett, you'll get a chuckle out of this because this is one of my hockey dad stories. So my son was drafted by the Sioux Greyhounds. He goes to training camp. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to make his way through training camp, even though, he's a good student. So he thought, well, if I'm ever going to do anything in hockey, I'll probably opt for the college side rather than major junior. As it turned out, he didn't play either. So there you go. Anyway, that first training camp, he gets to the red-white game, which is a big game. Like major junior, man, that's your big exhibition. The building's full. He's on a line with Morgan Frost and Boris Kachuk. And I don't know, it was early in the first period. Morgan wins the draw, gets it to my kid who's on the right wing. And I think it was just through fear alone. He just swings and fires a seam pass up the middle, tape to Boris, who goes in on the breakaway and scores. So you've got me giggling in the background. Yeah, me giggling in the background as they announce goal scored or red goal scored by number whatever, Boris Kachuk, the assist to Mason Dreger and Morgan Frost. So I said to Darren Ferris, who represents Frost last night when the deal came down, I said, I don't care whatever happens for the rest of Morgan's career. I'm always going to have a soft spot for that kid for that one play. So there's my personal twist on Morgan Frost.
So do you know him at all personally?
Yeah. I mean, I know his dad, Andy. Andy is a legendary radio voice in the Toronto market. But look, I'm sure everybody's had these experiences. If you've been in that level of hockey, in the present time when my son was going through those camps, and then for a couple of years after, while Morgan was playing in Philadelphia, he'd still reach out to Mason Dreger, and he had no reason to. I mean, this kid isn't playing major junior. He's trying to meddle his way through other levels of junior hockey and whatnot. But that's kind of character that the Calgary Flames are getting. Terrific leader back in that day. So he's got those qualities. And I think he's got a lot more to show. And I'm hoping that he does everything that I've talked about here with a Flames uniform.
Do you criticize? I mean, we're Flames radio, or we talk about the Flames, is the feel in Philadelphia a criticism of this trade, would you think? Or like we're all saying it's a good trade for the Flames, makes lots of sense.
Yeah.
Or does the fan base understand what Briere is trying to do there?
I think so, but I think in appreciation of that fan base, that's why they're doing it. This is recognition by Philadelphia Brass. And that, a big part of that, of course, is Danny Briere as general manager, but recognition that the time is coming close where they've got to give Philadelphia fans something to look forward to. Yeah. And it's more than just the promise of how this player is going to turn out or this deal or any of that. No. Like that Philadelphia fan base, as you see in the National Football League with the Eagles and everything that's gone on there historically with the Flyers, man, woo. I mean, they love their winning franchises as much or more than any team on the continent, just flat out, period. So they're realizing that they're going to have to move quicker than maybe they were expecting to. So I think that message has been conveyed. And in fairness, I haven't scoured all the media. I'm sure that there are opinionists and columnists in Philadelphia that take issue specifically with the return on this trade. But when you marry it with what I said and the motivation behind it, then it does make sense.
Yeah, this is a fresh start of sorts.
Is Philly still... Like when I played there, they were really good. Lindros and is Philly still a destination for free agents? Do you know what I mean? If they're clearing cap space, are they going to go after some free agents? Is this a spot that players want to go?
I think it is, Rhett, because again, there is the history that goes along with the Philadelphia Flyers. And, maybe this is an unfair comparison, but I think of Montreal. And the history is that much deeper in Montreal. But, the Montreal Canadiens are outkicking their coverage. Maybe not so much as of late. They've had a couple of stumbles here. But the stretch, the body of the work of the month of January has been pretty good. And you can see the work that's been put in Montreal. And because of the fan base and everything that is the Montreal Canadiens, you got to pay. I mean, you got to be okay to dive into that open market and pay market value. But I think that is also applied to Philadelphia. There's just something about that jersey, about that logo. Hey, Bobby Clark comes into the room. I mean, the history of the Philadelphia Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies. I mean, I don't think that there'd be too many free agents, aside from the obvious, that would look at Philadelphia and go, okay, I like the direction that you're going, but you're not there yet. So it probably depends on the age of the player we're talking about, but I don't think they're that far removed from being a destination of choice.
And when we look at Calgary now, I think it's fair to say that they've outperformed a lot of external expectations this season. Last night, Craig Conroy said this team earned that shot in the arm by bringing in these new guys. Do you get a sense that he's done making moves yet?
No. It's interesting. You dabble at center ice with this trade, but it depends on what else is going to be available between now and March 7th. But I do think that this does represent an acknowledgement that this group deserves a little bit more of a pop. And they're going to get that in these two players. These players have the potential to be impact guys. What I know is there is no interest in, and I don't want to use the term tearing it down because that's pretty obvious. They're not going to do that. But I know that teams continually call on some of their bigger pieces, like Nazem Kadri. And in fact, I was digging on this yesterday morning, again, somewhat coincidentally, which was part of my investigating of what Calgary might be up to. And the message that I got back was, no, we're not doing that. I mean, he's having a great year. He's such a key part of what is going on this year and probably moving forward. Let's see what he looks like next season, that sort of thing. But I'm sure that teams call all the time, right? Why wouldn't you? If you ever get to a place where you're willing to move player X, let me know, because I'd like to be one of those clubs, one of those general managers that's in a position to make that offer. So they're not having those conversations at all. And even including something like a Jacob Pelche. Now, you guys have probably talked about this player enough over the last few seasons, right? And what the expectation was. But that wouldn't have been an easy inclusion for Conroy and the Calgary Flames, to be fair here. And that you have to include them because of what you're getting back in return. So I don't want Flames fans to underestimate the potential of this deal. But I use that word appropriately, potential, because I'm not sitting here saying that Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost are coming in and the Calgary Flames are locked to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that Calgary is a better team today with those two men available than they were before this trade was made.
Give us more on Farabee. I know you guys at TSN do the World Championships. It sounded like you had a phenomenal tournament there last summer.
Yeah. I mean, just lots of energy. He plays the game the right way. I mean, you don't command or earn a contract like the one he has, simply because you had one good year or there's possibility there's intrigue and all that. No, he's proven that he can be a real effective player. But again, effective to the point where he's going to earn the value of his contract and beyond. Well, that's the hope. That's the expectation. I think, look, I talked to somebody high ranking with the Flyers late last night. And I'm going to repeat myself here. They did not want to have to move Joel Farabee. They did not. Morgan Frost is a little bit different because every team slots their players. When you're going into free agency, in this case, restricted free agency, you have to have the stomach for what you're willing to pay that guy and where he slots. And again, I'll remind you that this is a team that's hoping to be a big spender in the not too distant future and lure those bigger players in. Well, you can't do that when you're paying a player like Morgan Frost upwards of $4 million and you just don't have them in that position. They didn't want to have to move Farabee, but they felt like given that contract and again, what they're trying to do, they had to do it.
Great stuff on the trade. Are you expecting more action before Four Nations? I know we only got a few minutes with you left, but we've just seen the Rantanen and Natchez blockbuster. Now this. I mean, this is a nice little bit of momentum for a time of year where we're usually begging for deals.
Yeah, and you know what? A week or so ago, certainly going into the Rantanen trade, I felt like it was still, aside from the Vancouver stuff, it was going to be relatively quiet. Nobody had Mikko Rantanen on the lot. Nobody, 0 people were talking in media about, which, by the way, fellas, and I'm not going to be critical of management, but it is curious when you've got a foundational proven Stanley Cup piece like Mikko Rantanen. Why weren't we talking about this prior to that trade? Like, why was it Carolina or bust for Mikko Rantanen? Imagine, like, I don't know, like, if I'm a team with another pending top unrestricted free agent, or I'm a contending team or whatever, how do you know that team isn't willing to tear apart a chunk of their roster with the possibility of adding a piece like Mikko Rantanen? And if you get to that place where you have the essence of a deal and all you got to do is call the agent and say, we're interested in making this trade, but we're in a position to sweeten it if we can assure a contract extension. What does that look like? I don't think that happened. In fact, I know it didn't. It didn't happen widespread. And as soon as I heard that, you know what I thought of? Joe Thornton, when he got traded by Mike O'Connell, the Boston Bruins, to San Jose, and the criticism of Mike O'Connell at that time was, well, if we'd known that Thornton was available, man, we'd have put a package together.
It was enough here. The same
there's
thing.
Been trades like that. And it feels like when you're trading those big name guys, it's almost like you're trying to be sneaky about it. And I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
So but you're taking less in return in theory, right?
Yeah. Anyway, to wrap up with your question, the firmer answer, I didn't expect that last week. So as I was sifting through, all the speculation in Philadelphia and Calgary before the trade was made official, as we were pecking away, obviously I bring Vancouver in on the mix because early in my investigation, I knew that it was a bigger trade than simply Kuzmenko for, say, Morgan Frost, because I also knew that Morgan Frost was dinged up. That's why I left the game. Okay. So I messaged some good sources in Vancouver, and the message that I got back last night was, well, man, it was a busy day. There's a lot going on. I thought we were close, but at this point in the evening, it doesn't seem like anything is going to happen. So that Vancouver saga definitely has a feel of something before the start of the Four Nations.
Have a great day. Enjoy your TV hit. I know you'll be thinking about us, but do your best to stay focused. All right.
All right, fellas. And the lovely ladies. Yes. Thank you.
One and only.
Darren Dreger on our insider hotline for Crystal Waters. Again, I looked overnight lows -27 on Saturday.
Ooh.
You do want that hot water thing working, right?
You'll be sitting by the fire pit then.
Furnace, that's going to be, right, very good.
I'm in my head, I'm like, is that too cold to ski?
Yes, it is.
Still possible?
That's correct. It is. Crystal Waters is here for you also if you're a Barn Burner fan, viewer, listener. We don't know what we're calling. If you're a Barney, they got deals for you. You need a new hot water heater, AC furnace. You can receive discounts and upgrades in up to $1,000 in value. Crystal Waters has a solution for all budgets. That includes financing, affordable payment plans. Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating is your crystal clear choice for home comfort. Call them at 403-219-4100 or check them out online at crystalclearcalgary.com.
So one thing that kind of got overshadowed yesterday was some good news for the Flames, and that is that Connor Zary is expected to start skating, maybe not in a full contact capacity in the next couple weeks here, but he's about to get back on the ice, basically.
So he'll be wearing the old yellow jersey thing soon.
Do you expect to see when he comes back, is the Connor Zary at center experiment going to continue?
Yeah, so I think the first thing I looked at was like, where do you put these people that have just arrived? And clearly Frost is going to play the middle, and that gets you or Sharangovich back to his more natural position of wing, which I think we've all kind of liked him a little more at wing, although admirable what he's been able to do out of position at center in multiple stints here. I think it's either Sharangovich or Farabee that's going to play up top with Kadri and Huberdeau. I don't think you're breaking up the Backlund, Coronado, Coleman line. It's been so good. And again, more
Especially
results
after
last night. And you love seeing young players next to Backlund for whatever reason. It seems to be a great place they can mature, whether that's Kachuk or, Andrew Mangiapane. There's a long list of players over the last decade that have thrived there. And then it's like, okay, so you got Pospisil, Frost, and one of Farabee or potentially Sharon Govich is a third line. And yeah, when Zary gets back, okay, how much do you love Kevin Rooney as a fourth line center? Could you put one of them at fourth line center? Would you rather have them playing in the top 9? It'll be interesting to see, but I think first off, let's see what Morgan Frost looks like at center.
Did they play together in Philly?
Who's that?
Frost and Farabee?
I believe at times. I don't know exclusively if they did, but yeah, I think they had some reps together.
Some second line reps.
Both had fallen into they're not long for torts, guys. And if it's not going to be a spot where a guy's going to succeed, let's get him out rather than watch the asset continue to diminish in value.
And we don't have to wait long to see what that could look like. Conroy said that they're hoping to get them in as soon as possible. So Detroit on tap tomorrow night.
Detroit late start, if I'm correct. That would be you'd love to see it. And I know as a former player, get there and just get in the game.
Oh, for sure. There's no easier way to get to be part of the team.
You don't want the week-long build. Let's just get out there and play.
Go play. It's perfect.
And the assistant coach will be like, look, just go out and do your thing. We'll run through some video later, but just go play your game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that looks like here. It's exciting because they're 23 and 24-year-old players, 24 and 25-year-old players. That's, as you said earlier, Cami, not guys that are on their way out of their prime or how long can they stay at this level, but players you're expecting to continue to improve.
And if you're going to see these guys hit their peak around, like, say, 26 to 28 range, how good is Dustin Wolf going to be around that time now, after hopefully having some more time to settle into the league and really find his feet, and have other up-and-comers like Matt Coronado have some more seasons under their belt? That could be a good core that they're
does
building.
add to that core and that age group that you're hoping for
Maybe
sure.
still not that superstar player there.
No.
But the framework to be around a star player.
Yeah, and look, you're hoping Zane Perrick's going to be your Erik Karlsson type on the back end, and if you've got more of the plumbing forward group, that's probably fine. The real thing is the goalie, and we talked about it 2 weeks ago, Rhett. Like, it changes everything. If you're getting wildly inconsistent, he's great, he's bad, he's great, he's bad, he needs a week off. Like, if you're getting that from Dustin Wolf, A, you're not where you are in the standings, and B, you're like, okay, like, let's pump the brakes, buy time here.
Yeah, we don't need to.
But when you see a guy at this age in his first full season in the NHL looking elite, it's like, all right, that's the hardest thing to get in this sport, goaltending. Maybe we press fast forward or just skip 15 seconds of it, like the boring parts of this podcast, just forward 15 seconds. There's none of those, I'm sure. But it changes things.
Never happens. It does change things. So, goaltending's everything. You get the goaltender and you've got a chance. So, and I've even thought about that moving forward for the playoffs. If they happen to get in, it was
just get them hot.
It's 8 days, and it's like, well, maybe it's an injury on the other team, and Wolf is standing on his head.
Yeah, maybe you get outplayed and you're up 1-0.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. Playoffs are unpredictable, as everybody knows. So even if you're up against a team that you're not expected to beat, it does happen in hockey.
Never forget 2010 Yaroslav Halak. You just need a goalie. You just need a goalie.
And look, there's been a ton of those. I mean, we had the Moose, Johan Hedberg, Mika came out of nowhere, a third stringer to a Vezina caliber goalie. Like, you don't want to see the flip side. We've seen the hot spells and disappearances, but the pedigree of Dustin Wolf has been, I'm too good for this league at every league he's played in ever. And now he's arrived at the NHL. It's not surprising that he's dominating. It's just happening maybe a little sooner than we thought.
Yeah, you just exactly. Right? And my thing with Wolf was because I watched it last year in Buffalo. Levi was there. They were going to hand him the reins. He was going to be that guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't ready for it.
Still not that guy.
And then you worried about it with Wolf, but he's answered the call.
It's been great.
And even if you look at a game like last night, where the score looks quite lopsided for the Flames, it was close until late in the third period when the Flames started to pull away, and he made a lot of key saves, but they again didn't need him to be their best player on the ice, which is nice for him to have those nights, because there have been a lot of nights where they've eked out those wins by the grace of Dustin Wolf, and he still ends up with a .968 save percentage last night.
Good. It's quite good. Have you ever been involved in a game where a guy got yanked off middle of the game for trade? Because I think who was chatting about it. I think it was Huska was asked post game about, how did your group respond with all the things happening around? Because first intermission, Pelche's gone.
It's not good.
And then second intermission, you're like, okay, everyone knows by now at the latest if they don't already. And I'm sure there's a level of excitement with the caliber player getting back, but that's a pal, that's a roommate, that's a guy you've gone to camps with. Huska went out of his way to really pat his veterans on the back and say that's not an easy night for a hockey player. Our veterans led the way and we didn't waver.
It's not that's a complete loop in the system. Or like it would be hard to stay focused. You lose a guy, and I think he's popular in the room and liked, and you can think that the trade's a good trade, even if you know the details. You may not sitting in there I don't think the guys are going to their phones checking, and I don't think the coach or the GM's coming in saying what the deal is. So you're just losing a guy. You're wondering what's going on. It's a huge distraction.
I'd also be so curious to see what things were like in the Anaheim dressing room or the Islanders dressing room on the other side of the country.
Philly.
What am I looking for? Continent. Big words.
Yeah.
Not a breakfast at a hotel.
No.
Continent, landmass. Yeah, but it'd be interesting to be a fly on the wall in the opponent's room. Like, what do you think the Ducks were saying? They're like, Peltier's gone. Looks like a trade's going down. No Kuzmenko last minute.
I don't think there's. It wouldn't be as impactful for them. There'd be interest, but not. That's a distraction in the room. And I mean, I'm not going to overplay it. It's not a death in the family, right? There are bigger things to deal with, but it definitely would have been a distraction. And Huska's in there, and if he's saying the leadership and the veteran guys took over, then that's what they're supposed to do. Yeah.
And again, just more praise for the leadership group from Conroy and Huska. It's been a year with no drama off the ice, and winning the best deodorant ever. But I mean, that's certainly tip your cap to the lettered players on this team, the veterans. It's been the exact opposite of 2 years ago when just circus, like just infighting, clicks. No one wanted to be at the rink. Coaches had a spat with it, done. Let's get to a super chat. We got a super chat. Let's go. What do we got? Jack's on it here. Handsome Dan checking in. The Rhett birthday poem was absolutely AI Pinder, but it still counts. It's like buying a sweater versus knitting one. Yeah, the latter takes more effort, but the former is way better. I'm also excited to see how the new guy does in a less tortsy system. It's certainly a less tortsy environment. That's Handsome Dan. Another $100 because the Flames won. He does that every time. That's all going to the youth centers of Calgary. We'd love to see that. And if Wolf gets a shutout, it's like.
Can we use AI in hockey games at all, or is it not quite there yet?
Open his mic. RJ uses AI all the time.
All the time.
So explain how you could use AI in hockey.
I mean, I do it all the time, Retro. Like when I'm doing clips, I'll put little AI logos or something on there. I mean, I'm AI.
When we sent Dave Cameron to Mars, was that AI?
Partially. there was some grinding in there too, but it was partially AI.
I have it on good authority that Team Canada, after the World Juniors loss, the Four Nations Team Canada group, they're taking this seriously.
Oh, good. That's great. Yeah, because I know normally we should. Yeah, it's hockey in Canada, fellas. We need this.
We don't want another summit. So let's.
Yeah, don't need a summit at all.
Let's go.
Thanks to Handsome Dan for the super chat. As always, $100 to the Flames after a win. Well done, sir. Appreciate it. So next game, Detroit.
Get your tickets.
It's a stretch of 6 of 7.
Just wait. Let's hear what they have to say.
The guests are arriving now. Enjoy.
There we are.
Open the doors.
Bring them in.
Holy, it's a mad rush.
One at a time.
Walmart.
Cami only has one Sharpie.
What day is it? Black Friday?
This is not that. It will be busy down here. Again, we are live at the motorcycle show, the bike show. We're here supporting One Broken Biker, a resource for motorcyclists that have been injured, and our partner, McLeod Law, tightly tied in with One Broken Biker. So we're here today with that. We could be at Richmond's on Saturday. That's what I was thinking. Because you're talking about the debut of potentially Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. Rhett goes and watches games there, but usually it's just hammer pizza. What are the other moves there?
The wings are good. They have good.
Wings are phenomenal.
I want to try the I've not done it. The buns.
The cheese buns.
Yeah.
Because the Glamorgan Bakery's right there. Richmond's in the heart of
Yeah.
Glamorgan. It's
Still gotta
across
try
the
that.
parking
Still
lot.
gotta try that.
And they actually bring them in and put it on the menu.
Yeah.
Like you can.
Stuffed with like,
Oh,
I don't know what it is, but I want to. Come on.
And they've got the Johnny Gaudreau cocktail.
they do.
It's delicious.
The purple
It's
Gator.
purple.
Remember the squirt in the Gator?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Your wife had one that one night there
So I'll shoot.
when she was at Richmond's, but you were just blah, 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 pizza,
Yeah,
pizza,
she's
wings.
A yapper, as the kids say.
Mm-hmm.
yaps.
We're excited to be teamed up with Richmond's. We'll have news down the road about when we'll be there as a group next. But anytime the Flames are playing, they're going to have the sound on. Whether it's opening day for the Blue Jays, Four Nations, maybe a final game, obviously the Super Bowl, that's the place to be.
Word of, I don't know, caution, advice, I'm not sure which it is.
Mhm.
When the Flames score, the horn is going on. And if you don't know it, you may
it's
spill your
not,
drink.
It's not like the cannon in Columbus level,
But
but it's there.
It rattled me the first time.
Stay alert.
Yeah.
Land on your toes. Let's get to a Pinder Report. We do it for our great friends at Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com. This is the weather. This is why I have a Honda Ridgeline. It's
Damn
the
right.
winter. It's the hockey bags in the back. It's the we're going to baseball, then this, then that. It's also not the size of an RV, so I can park it outside the BMO Event Center. It's perfect for the city. If you're interested in a Ridgeline or any other Honda, head up there. Check them out in the Northwest Auto Mall. Also a huge selection of used vehicles. We're talking more than 500 they've got access to within their dealer group, nearly 100 on site. They're worth your trip. The Village Honda location, again, just off Country Hills and Stony in the Northwest Auto Mall. Your dealership for life, my dealership for life.
Uh-huh.
Very good. Jack, I will walk through you with this. This is a very rammed together Pinder Report, but we
walk through you with this. Walk through this with you. I'm very AI wouldn't mess that up.
You that
RJ, can
clip
you
that
AI
kid.
that?
Have you ever would you ever, would you with the
Waiting for the okay.
you know what I'm talking about.
Let's start with
Oh,
the
yeah.
trade.
Oh, yeah.
We'll pull it back up. There it is. That's the big news of yesterday. We've talked a lot about it. I don't know that we're missing any opinions on it, but again, it's that's
It's tidy work.
arguably one of the
That's
more
his best
bold
trade.
moves that Craig Conroy has made, because the other ones, it's like, well, this guy's
We
not
have
re-signing.
to.
You got to trade him. This is one where it's like, no, I can keep these guys. Or what
I made a
about those
hockey
guys?
trade and I improved my team.
Yeah.
And
There
I
you go.
didn't sell the farm.
We've got some Ryan Huska. Let's listen to a bit of it. We noted the
Scott!
Huska. How did this go over in the room?
Obviously, kind of a different game than you're used to playing. From your perspective, how did your team handle this evening?
Very well. Like you mentioned it, you don't often see kind of things transpire the way they did tonight with how players had to be told and all that stuff. And I thought our older guys' leadership group were fantastic with it. So the game was the most important thing. You deal with stuff after the fact, and I was very proud of the way they did handle themselves tonight.
How hard is it for you maybe as a coach when you see a couple of players that you've been close with? How challenging can that be for you?
It's, hey, you develop bonds with players, but at the end of the day, it's part of a business. And we have two players coming in that we're very excited about for different reasons. They bring different skill sets to our team. So we're looking forward to getting them here and getting them in the lineup right away.
So what I take from that is Huska is right pissed at Conroy for operating the way he
That's
did,
your
making
takeaway.
trades and that he hated Kuzmenko and Pelche.
Interesting takeaways.
Love.
So he's mad at Connie and he hated the best.
Conroy, like, you don't know we're playing tonight? Can't get this deal. What are you doing? Why do I have to deal with this in the middle of a game?
Cami, these were-
Even Conroy was talking about it. He was like, I don't like that we had to do it this way, but
Well, he
there
shouldn't.
was a
That's
sense
poor
of
management.
urgency here.
Let's hear from
Well,
Connie.
one thing
Okay.
before we get to this Connie clip, one thing that he did bring up, I don't know if this is the clip you're talking about, that I thought was really interesting, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this. He's kind of insinuated that it's different talking to a younger GM
Yeah, he
like
did
Danny
mention that.
Briere
Yeah.
compared to some of the old guard. And if
Well-
we had Dregs for longer, I would have loved to have asked him about that.
So let's hear from Connie, and then we'll get
Yeah.
back to that on the other side. Here's the GM just hours after completing the deal and after his club beat the Ducks at the Dome last night.
This came together pretty quick this morning, to be honest, but we've talked about the players maybe even last year and this year. So, but I think, it never really made sense. We were going back and forth. It just wasn't the right time or it wasn't the right return. So, I think this morning it started maybe a 1-for-1 player type deal, and then it grew a little bit more, and then, it kind of became what it is now. So, Danny and I, the one thing I think when you're young GMs in the league, we talk maybe a little bit more than other ones because you feel very comfortable with him, and he's out east. So, today it just happened to really speed up and became, okay, this makes sense for both teams. Let's do it.
Okay, so that's exactly what you're talking about, Cami, and I like the angle because we heard at the beginning, Craig Conroy, rookie GM. Oh, he's going to the draft and he wants to, he's got 7 UFAs. It was Shillington, Backlund, Toffoli, Tanev, Hannafin, Lindholm, Zadorov. Like, oh my God, like welcome to the club. And now everyone's lobbing anvils at you. Well, something about another guy coming up at the same time, maybe more comfortability.
Yeah, I think the take I have on that Conroy comment is that he hates those old bastards that have been running teams forever, and he wants to run them out of here.
I hate this
They're
morning.
sleeping at the wheel. There's a lot of Joe Biden to them. Like, it's not good.
Jeez.
And I'm with you, Connor. More youth. We got a youth movement. Let's go.
Cami, did you have a takeaway that was just as thoughtful and sincere as Rhett's?
I don't know. It's hard to follow such strong analysis.
It really is. Yeah, you can Wally.
I'm sure it is easier. Those guys would have played against each other. They'd be very comfortable.
Yeah,
just sitting there and bullshitting. They're probably talking about all those old pricks that are hard
not
to deal
calling
with.
me back.
Yeah,
trying to screw me on this deal.
I just wonder if they deal with things differently than the old guard. I said it to Gould last night on Afterburner, but I want to see an NHL version of draft day.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. I like that. And
Joel
interestingly,
Farabee, no matter what. Morgan Frost, no matter what.
Those are guys that
Connie would be down.
Stating the obvious, those are guys that have come up through similar paths. They're faces of the franchise, almost like really star high-end players in the market. They've gone and learned the trade in the market under GMs, and they've ascended to the job. You look at the Ottawa-Carolina deal, like those were two very data-driven analytics people that went to work under old GMs that then took over the GM's jobs. They got a deal done. It's probably, in a weird way, easier to get a deal done with someone that's speaking your language or viewing things through the same lens that you are. And I think Connie and Briere, there'd be a lot of overlap in terms of their career path and potentially even the way they'd sort of view this interaction.
I believe they call that an unconscious bias.
Okay. In this case, a good one for the Flames fans. Sure. So there's that. We got other news. There's the wild card standings. Flames up by 1. Okay. This is going to be back and forth. And Vancouver's playing some good hockey.
3 wins in a row now, despite the
drama.
mess and their own staff
Dallas
just
tonight?
throwing. Yeah, they got Dallas tonight, and their own staff are just throwing diesel on this fire.
I think it's kind of hilarious. Like everyone was like, "Oh, can't believe they let this get public," and then, oh no, things are fine. You know what? Let's just call it what it is. Maybe just putting this right out in the open and go play. They've actually been good. They had them on the same line for a heartbeat the other night. They had the Lotto line back together. 640 and 9. That's Besser, Miller, and Pettersson. Like it's a big test against Dallas coming out. It's a good hockey club.
Yeah, maybe they try it again. I don't know. I mean,
don't know what to make of the situation in Vancouver. It's awkward.
Yeah,
but maybe it is a rallying cry. Like, can you imagine? You know what? Screw that. We're gonna come together and rally around this.
Yeah.
Feels odd that they would. If this is the
a lot of teams thrive off of creating that us against the world mentality. The Flames, I feel like the Flames try to do that all the time, even when people are actually really pumping them up. Some of the players like, no one believes in us.
Can you put the standings back up, Jack, if you've still got it available? We got to stop worrying about Vancouver.
LA is
right.
Yeah.
They're right
they
there.
They got Doughty back in a non-victory last night, so
it's not on there.
We just have the wild card at this point, but yeah, it's not a huge gap. Let's get to the cap. We got some confirmation.
Not even.
Yeah, they get the games in hand, but yes, Colorado's been just okay of late. Frank with a Frank bomb this morning. Today's an interesting part of the memo from teams is that the NHL and the PA have agreed and set the cap for the next 3 seasons. This is huge news. If you're Rasmus Anderson's agent, if you're Connor McDavid's agent,
now you know.
If you're Dustin Wolf's agent, what's the cap going to be? What's the cap going to be? Where's it going? Well, no more guessing. Here's the next 3 years. Next year was supposed to go up by 5%, but they're smoothing these huge gains as they're a little behind revenue with the no escrow. Here's your cap for the next 5 years, CBA that's about to expire. Long story short, 95.5 next year, more than they would have anticipated. 104, that's a jump of nearly, $9 million year over year. And then the next year, another $9.5 million jump. It's a good time to be a free agent in the next few summers, friends.
Damn right. Well, if you're playing in the league, it's probably a good time. No matter
You're
what.
still a free agent, right? But
I could make a comeback.
Yeah, not sure that the cap's going to influence that.
And the Flames still have a lot to play with.
They do. Yeah, they've got lots of cap space. What do you have the numbers post trade where they're at? They can add about $40 million at the deadline. not
yeah, they got 43.6.
43 deadline space. Yeah,
That's a lot of spending.
Bring them all in.
Be careful. You might mess with
Rantanen, McDavid.
You might
Crosby.
mess with the chemistry if you do that.
Let's go. So there's that's showing
I mean,
the cap
if a
growth.
Rantanen is magically available.
Sure. Come on in. 4 nations captains were announced yesterday. We'll scroll through those. I don't know that this is alarming or surprising. The guys you thought would be the captains absolutely were the captains. Sasha Barkov.
I
Team
poked
Finland.
fun at it yesterday, saying, "Oh, they have to only 1 hour, eh? Ooh,
Yeah, slow release.
Big
Yeah,
build up."
Canada was the last team released. Nathan McKinnon, huge snub. He's not showing up anymore.
He's pissed.
He's mad.
Mad at Rantanen.
He's mad at Rantanen.
He's mad at
Sakic.
Everything is not coming up, Nathan.
Crosby.
But when he's angry, he plays his best. Get him in this
Maybe,
tournament. Let's
maybe.
go.
So who are the captains? You didn't tell us all the captains.
There's Crosby, McCarr, and McDavid are the assistants. Austin Matthews is the captain of the Americans.
Yep.
Hedman, the Swedes, and Barkov, the Swedes. A little surprised that there was not a Kachuk brother named captain, but Matthews, I think, comfy in that
They're
spot.
dirty bastards. You don't want them leading.
Yeah, in the penalty box. How's he going to talk to the ref? What do you? You got to talk to the ref to be the captain.
Makes him play better. Also, another chance to see Cale McCarr before he heads off to 4 Nations when the Flames face the Avs next week.
That's right. They do have an interesting homestand. They'll see Matthews as well. Toronto, Colorado, Seattle, their last 3.
Book ended with the 2 matches against Seattle.
Yeah.
1 on the road, 1 at home.
Yeah, totally. Okay, NHL tonight, what do we got? Let's take a look at it as 4 games. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. It's the Sabres hosting the Nashville Predators. We mentioned the Canucks at Stars. That's a huge one for the wild card in the West. St. Louis at the Avs. And the Blue Jackets, who are in a playoff spot today, they're going to face the Utah. We haven't figured out what her name is yet.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot.
What was it? The Wasatch?
They took that out.
It's gone, and now the Mammoth.
They heard the feedback. They got bullied out of it, and now Outlaws is
We're
the
down
other
to our final
option.
3. Just kidding. Here's another option.
Plot twist.
Also, I make note, Razor's event is tonight. Probably a fun watch. If you're
Yes,
sitting
that's
around
right.
and
Rob
you get
Ray. Now, is it Jersey Retirement or Ring of Honor? What's the?
Yeah, it's the Sabres Hall of Fame.
Sabres
They don't
Hall
call
of
it the
Fame.
Ring of, yeah,
Okay.
it's their Buffalo Sabres Hall of Fame.
And, if you haven't had a chance, the show we did with him last week was absolutely sensational. One of the great characters in the sport, and rightfully, perhaps overdue, heading into the Sabres Hall of Fame. A Sabre through and through.
Yes, been there for years. It's funny. Tough guy, did everything and anything he could for his teammates on the ice and fighting and all that, and entertained the crowd and was a wild man. Blah blah blah. It's the off-ice stuff in Buffalo that he's most known for.
Really? Eh?
It's the charity work. It's the giving back. I think
Didn't
that's
he start the Christmas drive that you
Yep.
ended up bringing to Calgary?
Yep. Absolutely.
Toy drive at Christmas.
Yep.
Amazing.
He's and that, I mean that is hardly a dent into what all he's contributed to. The amount of lives he's influenced in a charitable aspect in Buffalo would be staggering.
Amazing. And glad we got him in last week so we could share some of those stories that you had with him. Hey, you guys want to see the worst contract in pro sports history?
Ooh, yes.
We talk about, this is the worst
Is it one of
contract
those
in the
coaches?
NHL. One of those. How about this? Neymar went to Saudi Arabia. Now, he's from Brazil. He's a very good soccer player. $200 million, 1 goal in 7 games. He go. 200.
Did he get the
mil.
200?
A lot of it, I'm guessing.
Because that's impressive.
Like, that's a nice haul. $200 million a goal. Like,
Oh,
McDavid might
baby.
flirt with $200 million in his career for earnings. This guy, per goal.
A goal?
Let's
For
go.
what?
Oh,
That's some good stuff. Or you want some paid leave, Red?
a lot of money out there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm coming back. I got that 200 mil the other day for that goal.
No, fine. It's hot. Like,
It's
I'm
a lot
from
of
Brazil,
work
but it's
to
even
stay in
hotter. Like,
shape.
I don't like the heat. I'm going to have to go.
Dry
Sand
heat.
guy.
Give us the
It's a
money back
dry
I already
heat.
spent. Dry heat. Very dry. Very heat, very
Can't
dry.
handle this dry heat.
It's the oven. Now, the shoveler, you made her a sandwich last night, but things went sideways. So I'm going to need you We'll pull this up full screen for you. There you are. You've made her. It looks like
she's looking good.
She's looking
ready to
great. No, it looks like you got a little mayonnaise on the side, Rhett. That's not gonna go well. No. Okay, well that's all right because you got the napkin as well, right?
Kinda.
Oh, jeez. Shoveler, no.
Doing it all wrong.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Rhett, what is that?
What is on
What's
your
going
algorithm?
on here, Rhett? Boys, I'm not the best.
She was into the shrooms.
Oh dear! I feel for you. Just wanted to go out for a sandwich, and
Can
next
we
thing you
have
know,
some?
To be fair, that's how most people eat ranch dressing. That's how most people approach it.
If
Not Steinberg.
no,
Like that.
I was going
Yeah,
to say, if
that's
anyone
right.
ever runs into Pat Steinberg, don't say hi to him. What he wants you to do is just deliver a side of ranch to his table.
Yeah. Big cup of ranch.
In a martini glass, raise it saucily with
Yeah.
a smile.
Classy.
Now, remember when your kids started that whole skate park luggage thing
Yeah.
where they put each leg in
Yeah.
a suitcase? And
Very,
they got a new one here because the luggage anymore. This looks like some sort of a. Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Wow. Nice. Your kids are getting old too, by the way.
Well, they were inspired by Captain America and his shield. So
that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that.
Now, there's like buffet trays. What are those? I don't. Trying to figure out what the wheels are.
The future, that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, that's in the future. No, Boom's not with us today. I don't know if he's got a side hustle or not, but I confirm this is not him at the warehouse. He was not. This is not his warehouse shift. This was somebody else on the forklift.
Oh, baby.
With the,
Oh, Domino's. No?
No.
I think you're stacking those things too high.
I think you're stacking for the next week. I like that people just run.
Is that Origin? Is he?
Oh no!
He's
Is that
crushing
Mark?
all the beer?
Mark,
Come on.
stay off the heavy equipment.
Sterling,
Jeez.
fire that guy.
Fire Mark.
Shame.
Big Lugan. Jeez. I mean, I understand you getting back there doing a little quality control.
Yeah, just making.
Stay off the forklift. No Boom today, but we do have a snake for him because it's the year of the snake, right?
Mhm.
The Lunar New Year. It's the
I
year.
don't know.
Sure is.
Oh,
And this is the King Cobra. You got to be quick here.
no fear.
None.
You can't have fear, Cami. You're going to attack the snake. Let it know who's boss.
Yeah, that's at Bangkok Snake Farm. That's a real thing.
I was
So
most
they are-
excited hearing Reptilia by the Strokes in the background.
That's a good
Banger of a
fit.
song.
That's I did not do it. Yes. We're gonna get hauled down, but that is the right song from the Strokes there. And finally, being that we're at the motorcycle and bike show today, I thought we'd play some of the highlights from that big event, Rhett, you were in as a youngster on your bikes.
Yeah.
Here we go. They definitely might need someone in McLeod Law. That doesn't go well. Oh my goodness.
Zip, zip, zip.
I actually had a
lot of-
cousin who was a very
Holy.
broken biker. He broke both his legs in a motorbike crash.
Oh, you don't
Yes.
want to do that.
He's all good now.
No. Yeah.
We also tried to build something similar in one of the pastures at the farm.
Mm-hmm.
A nice little dirt bike track.
Yeah.
Did not end well. Many injuries.
It usually doesn't. I
Yeah.
feel like it's part of the growth pattern there. There has to be some downs before you.
It was once the four-wheelers got into the mix, things really went sideways.
Too confident.
I'm not
Too-
doing that. Yeah.
Too confident.
Cameron, we're just glad you're in one piece here, that you didn't,
I'm barely in one piece.
just shatter your sternum or something on the handlebars of some ATV. No good.
Put a tooth through my lip once.
Nice.
It
That was a
healed
GT
nicely.
snow racer, though.
Oh,
Those things are dangerous.
Yeah.
you're going quick. Only conky I've ever had in my life. Don't remember? Just remember being at the top of the hill?
Dunk.
Remember being in the minivan on the way home. So, my head hurts. Yeah, that's concussion, son.
That's how your family kept you docile.
Yeah.
They're like,
Hit
this
him in
isn't
the head.
bad. How many weeks apart between these before it gets bad? That is your Pinder Report for our good friends at Village Honda. Check in, say hello. The 2025s are there. And yes, Anthony, our pal there, will be geeked up about Champions League and, of course, F1, the Four Nations coming up. He's actually, you know what it is? Cavs go to Victoria next week.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing Pumas, this big club from Mexico City. We'll talk about it a bit next week.
I was going to call Tommy and say, come coach my kids hockey.
He's in Victoria.
But
Next week
apparently
they
he's
leave.
busy.
Yeah,
And
they're
then
just
they go to
training down in
Mexico for the
LA.
second half. Yeah, they were down in LA and San Diego.
Yeah.
It's a good gig. Anyway, Anthony will be fired up with that. He's probably getting on a bird to fly out there to watch. So I think you got it. So check in your dealership for life in the Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com. It is Village Honda. How's Friday looking? What's next? You got to go over.
Eat something.
Connie's just a couple blocks away. You got to go.
Cami's going to buy me
break bread,
some lunch, and then I'm going to go watch a hockey game. And
I'll go buy you another one of those sandwiches that you made for the shoveler. That's Rhett's lunch today.
Yes.
Just
Hope
a
you're
little,
hungry.
just a touch less mayo, Red.
No, I love mayo.
No, it seemed like a perfectly appropriate amount of mayonnaise.
Initially,
I'm almost excited for cold because I want to sit on my couch.
Yes.
I got a Snuggie for my birthday the other day.
Very excited. Is that like the Udi where it's
yes,
just like down in
exactly,
here?
Yeah. You're wearing a blanket.
Yeah.
We all bought those for volleyball trips in high school.
Oh, so
Pass
good.
the time on the bus in your nice little Snuggie, do your homework.
Yeah.
Ahead of the curve, Cami. A true trendsetter.
It was as seen on TV at the time.
Oh, okay.
You had to go to the Cranbrook Mall to get them, though.
That's big time. I love that mall.
Is that one of your top fives? You got a top 5 small town mall list for us, or no?
Yeah.
The old Tamarack Center.
Swift Current's got a beauty. Oh,
they have a Sport Check and a
Medicine
Starbucks
Hat.
now.
Oh.
You guys missed a great weekend in Jasper, I got to tell you. Because
Were you
Jasper in
Put
January.
me on the team. I can almost do. I did a crossover. I scored.
So Cami's
I
learning
scored.
hockey.
I know she's playing.
Yeah.
Huh?
What div is it?
There's no divs.
Discover.
She's
It
the
is
Discovery League.
Discover
Discovery
hockey.
Division.
We
We're in
have a
Div 1
goalie,
in
though.
Jasper.
I scored on a goaltender.
That's good. We're proud of you.
Once I learned how to do a backwards crossover, it's over for all of them.
It'll be over for you because you'll crack your head.
How are you feeling compared to the start of the season? Like, is it just like night and day, or is it steady improvement? Is it up and down? What do we feel?
I love it. I feel like I'm miles ahead of where I was when I started. I'd never played organized hockey before this year. There wasn't a girls' hockey team where I grew up.
Mhm.
It wasn't really something that my family could make happen when I was little. So I figure skated. I did play-by-play for the junior B team because I also had tons of billet brothers growing up. So I loved hockey. And now, like, finally biting the bullet, it's like I want to learn. It is very scary on hockey skates. I miss my toe pick. I miss more than anything. I miss like the back of a figure skate is flush to the ice. You don't have the rocker, so that's the scariest part for me. But honestly, it's the most fun I've had in my adult life, and I question what my life would have been if I had that as a child. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Just getting it done.
I blame my parents for all
Anyway,
the mistakes
please invite
I've
me
made.
next year. That'd be lovely.
Chase your dreams, Cami. Chase your dreams. Maybe one day you can play with us in Jasper. Maybe one day.
I can lift the puck now. I feel good about my chances.
Lofty goals.
I like it.
If anything, I'll block shots.
We had a blast. Big shout out and big thank you to Booster Juice and Yeti. Booster Juice was our official puck sponsor. We had the official puck drop for every game and prize packages for player of the game. And hey, I mean, it kind of fits. You're doing active stuff. You want to fuel yourself properly. Also, we'd remind you to go get that app. They got the app going on.
The berry points.
Get those berry points, right? What are you going to turn those berry points into? Something healthy for sure. Maybe smoothies, drinks,
A nice little booster ball. Those are tasty.
Booster ball, okay.
Those are
Do
tasty.
you have a favorite? Because Dean's always saying his daughter, what is it, the Funky Monkey?
Oh yeah, but that's the shakes, but I don't know what the hell.
Booster balls? Oh, like they're little it's like
energy
peanut
balls.
butters and coconut oatmeal is a good go-to.
Visit a location today to refuel, refresh, and re-energize. Also download the new Booster Rewards app. You can earn, order, and enjoy from there. So there you are. Also, Yeti, you think of Jasper, you think of where you are in the world, you think of Yeti, you're like, yeah, that's going to be a fit. So you've got these fire tables and coolers that keep things hot and or cold. You've got these comfortable recliners and blankets and yeah, you're built for the outdoors. You know what you're doing, Yeti. They took great care of us there as well. Hopefully we got more to announce with Yeti in the near term as well. Crave the cold and extend your ice time with hard-hitting gear that's built to honor the toughest sport on earth. Crave the cold and built for the wild indeed. Shout out Yeti.
Rhett does crave the cold.
I am craving the cold.
He yearns
Not because I
for
want to
it.
get into the cold, because I want to have an excuse to do nothing and sit on my couch.
This is not it could have been this weather in Jasper. It is in the mountains. It is this time of year. We had marvelous weather. This is not your pond hockey weekend. This is minus 24.
You're a
minus
hardy
23.
soul if you're out there skiing and skating this weekend.
Yes, there won't be crowds. You'll have a lot of space to yourself. Cami, you're going to ski. You'll have the hill to yourself.
I'm thinking about it. There was a couple years ago, there was that really bad cold snap where Sunshine and Louise put out those warnings. They're like, take breaks every couple runs. We've established warming centers.
Right.
And the snow was great. I got a nosebleed. It was so cold, but it was great.
Jeez. Cammy's an animal.
We signed the waivers before
RJ's
we
in.
RJ's just like, oh.
You coming in? Carpool?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm an avid snowboarder from
way back.
Yeah, from when I was like 12. So
you're doing greens and blues? Or you get some blacks in? What are we doing?
I'm mostly face plants when I try to do the
half
toe
pipes.
pick. Yeah,
He's doing the half pipes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the bunny hill. That's what we're talking there. All right. Other things to get done here. Next action for the Flames, we told you, was the weekend against Detroit. It's a one-off in Seattle. It's actually a back-to-back. So I imagine we will see Dan Vladar, who becomes
played Detroit then Seattle?
Back-to-back.
Yeah.
Oh.
In Seattle on Sunday, and then back for another 3-game homestand. Colorado, Toronto, Seattle. I believe that's the order, right? Toronto, Colorado, Seattle.
Yep, you got
That's
it. You got
Tuesday,
it.
Thursday,
Calgary,
Saturday,
famously fantastic at these road back-to-backs. When you've got
Yes.
Dan Vladar, the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, the Lamb
ice.
it's 1-5 on the second half of back-to-back. So that'll be the game in Seattle. Now, Seattle on a Sunday, probably a little different than 3 games in 4 nights against Winnipeg. We'll see.
And these softies from out east that they drafted, now they get some real travel.
That's right. In your
Although
bed
it's
by
only
midnight.
Seattle. That big a deal.
That's still, though. Yeah, they'll be at some point after 4 Nations. We sure on the plane a lot.
Holy.
Is that when you decided to pick up reading, Rhett? Because I know you weren't really keen on reading until.
I was the first guy with a backpack.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I had a leather backpack. Looked sharp. Go with my suits.
Mhm.
Full of books.
What's the last book you've read?
Oh, he reads them all the
I'm reading a
time.
book tonight. CIA.
Hey.
He said it's kind of slow moving, but he's going to power through it.
I read every day, Cami.
Despite his incredibly busy schedule, he does find time to read.
Actually, I want the book recommendations.
I got tons. Confederacy of Dunces.
Confederacy of Dunces.
I'm telling you, it's a Cami book. She's going to love it.
Good. All right.
Actually, it kind of sounds like something I read.
yeah,
If you're
yeah.
reading a book about the CIA, there's a really good one called The Moscow Rules. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
Let's finish
Maybe we
that
could
one.
have a book club.
Cami's
Let's
Book Club,
do
Fridays, right here on the Barn Burner Station. Thanks for joining us. Let's get to our bets. Bet365, the world's largest sports gaming app. If you haven't got yourself an account, go do there right now. Use that code NATION when you sign up, and you can wager on a large, and I mean massive range of markets.
Mahusiv. The Utah Mahusivs.
Wasuchis.
No,
Mamuthas,
Wasuchi. Can't say Wasuchi.
The Outlaws. The hockey club.
They're
just going to be
They're going to be the hockey club.
As long as they don't steal the Brooks Bandits logo.
Yes. Don't do that. Mean. So, Rhett, you were on gambling duty today.
Yeah.
What did you cook up for Jack?
I don't remember, Ryan, so let's take a look.
Let's take a look. It looks like you got 2 games here in the NHL tonight.
In honor of my boy, Rob Ray.
Yep.
And the Sabres absolutely snot bubbled the Bruins.
They did.
The other day.
Yeah, what, 7-2?
Bruins suck. I'm going to give the Sabres with 1.5 at home on Rob Ray night. Get out of here.
Love it.
It's a shit pumping. And then Columbus.
Easy.
They beat up on Vegas last night. Didn't they beat Vegas? So they're riding a high.
Back to back, and they're going to face the hockey clubs.
Utah's nothing special. When Razor was out here, and I talked to some of the guys from the Sabres.
Yeah.
What's up with Columbus? They work their butts off every night. So
love that.
You're going to
Dean
Utah.
Evison.
1.5. Yes. Even if they lose by 1.
Couple puck lines to Rhett tonight, and then you also.
And then
have
I jumped
little
ahead.
tease.
I got a little excited about a sport that I can't support, but
Right.
Super Bowl is coming. I took a look. How many 4th down conversions in the Bills Chiefs game?
Oh, I think
Not enough as far as Bills
for the
fans are
Bills,
concerned, but
a
plenty.
few, yeah.
There were
Agreed.
plenty.
Well,
The
I
old-
think of the tush push. Philly's
Yes.
doing it like every drive. it
And
feels like.
Mahomes is absolutely going to get a 4th down and convert.
I love this
So
bet.
a double conversion. Each team gets a 4th down conversion. That is, I can't say guarantee, but that's
definitely
easy.
can't.
That is easy.
That is a
Make it
very
happen.
popular pick for Rhett. Okay. I like it as well.
I'm very high on that one. I
Very
might
good.
actually go in there right now and do more.
You do that. You do that. Thanks to our pals at Bet365 who present this show. And again, use that code NATION when you sign in. It's never ordinary with Bet365. What did you guys do last night on the show? Were you looking at Four Nations odds, or did you look at tonight's games? Or
We're looking ahead to tonight's games, particularly like the Dallas-Vancouver game. Looking at some of those teams that are trying to catch Calgary in that wild card standing. Mike thinks that Utah and St. Louis are fully out of it. They're 7 points behind Calgary for that last wild card.
That's a lot.
It is a lot to overcome. Utah has, I mean, St. Louis is on that 3-game slide. Utah has points in 5 of their last 10, I guess, if you want to look at it in a positive light. But Calgary, like, pretty close to. I know LA's getting Drew Doughty back here.
Got back last night, I believe.
Yeah. But, I mean, LA's on a 3-game skid right now. They are within striking distance for the Flames, even though the Kings do have that game in hand.
Could it be? I was thinking about this last night. Could it be the canceled game?
Oh, the Kings and Flames.
Can you imagine?
And they rescheduled April 17, the last day of the NHL's regular season.
How juicy would that be?
Of all the people to think of that, Rhett, that's amazing.
Well, I was.
Because you were making your calls earlier.
Galaxy brain over here.
Making your rounds? You were calling Pike?
Yeah. Doing my rounds.
That might have a lot, yeah. I mean, maybe it's seeding, maybe it's in or out, maybe it's home ice and you're playing them. Like, that's...
Right, because it's a throw, just a gate. It might be Mahusiv.
Cami, could you?
Mahusiv.
Thank you.
By the way, I need help from the people. Scotty Alton, heal up, buddy. Popped his Achilles skiing.
Oh.
Retired.
When?
First, like in the fall.
Oh.
Gonna ski, go to Hawaii, spend some time doing things I love. No. Scotty, we love you. Get better, man.
You're doing rehab.
Get better. What? Any of our biker listeners, is that a 1943 Harley?
Whoa. List says 1930. There's a sign there.
Where?
Harley Davidson 45, 1930. See to the left of the display?
My eyes aren't that good, right? Anyway, Scotty wants
Gorgeous.
It. Scotty wants
There's a bunch of really nice bikes here. What we'll do...
I'll steal it for you, Scotty. I'll just vroom right out of here.
I do not. Rhett, you used to have a more...
I got my license.
It's a big deal.
I bought a Harley, and I had to have it delivered. I was so scared to drive. The guy's like, what?
Huh?
Can you take it to my house? I want to practice. I'm going around the block. I'm not ready yet.
Rhett has found an empty grocery store parking lot in the wee hours of the morning to practice his turns.
Where's neutral? I can't find neutral to start this.
RJ, you and I will do a quick social video around here when the show's done. We'll just show everyone the bikes. It's really cool. We got a great setup. Again, we're here at the Motorcycle and Bike Show at the BMO Center, supporting One Broken Biker, a great cause that our partners with Cloud Law are helping out with as well. So hence the big displays. They also, what they do, everywhere they show up, One Broken Biker, you literally sign a thing and you can win Harley. Every year they give another one away.
Really?
Yeah.
So if I goes?
Yeah. I haven't won one yet. But
although I don't know if they will deliver it for you.
They damn well better.
I feel like you're in a spot where maybe this time of year in Calgary, the delivery is probably
probably mandatory.
Yeah, probably.
Fun thing going over at the Saddle Dome today. Crowchild Classic is back tonight.
That's right. I would thank you for bringing that up. So it is the Cougars and the Dinos. I believe the ladies puck drops at 4:30 or 4:45.
4:30. Yeah.
And then the men at 7 or a little later if needed.
Whenever it ends, because these games always go the distance. I think. I mean, there's always like a shootout. It's overtime. Like the players really get up for these games, and the best part is like almost seeing the students get so into it. You see that rivalry.
You're getting the American college experience.
That's 100%. Yeah, this event has the attendance record for U Sports men and women's hockey, and they will shatter that record again today, as it's sold out. Now I don't know if they sold the 300s, Cami, but
tickets. Give me tickets. Boom and I always hit each other.
Just talk to Connie. Go through his office. Congratulate him on the deal, and then
Connie doesn't even answer when I call. He's busy apparently.
What happened to you? You guys, eh?
Well, if you question anything he does,
the true feud on Barn Burner.
You just railroad him a few times on a little podcast.
Weird how he listened and they made a trade after I said we should probably make a trade now.
It was that easy. They just pressed the make a trade button.
Give the man a team.
Said we should do it.
I'm happy to help out. The only thing disappointing is that I don't get any money back from those bastards, and they won't even buy me supper.
I feel like they could buy you supper.
Is that why you need me to buy you lunch?
Yeah, buy me lunch.
Stop it. Okay. Do you want to say?
Great, I've got to flip Gould on Afterburner. Now I've got to flip Red on Barn Burner.
Well, it's just
Guys,
Sorry, Ryan.
Bonton is back, and I think that's where you should go
That's
for
where
lunch.
we should go for lunch.
Now, are you familiar? Because this is a connoisseur of the Bonton portfolio. Up Crowchild Trail, kind of.
I celebrate their whole catalog, isn't it?
Yeah, he does.
Responsibly enjoyed their product many a time.
And irresponsibly as well.
I'm irresponsible. I just overconsume.
I think like at certain times of year, it's like, oh yeah, this is a time of year where you should like top up your RSPs and like, okay, like taxes are here and like, oh, well, this bill usually comes in here and then there's the taxes for the house. Rhett has like a few Bonton milestones where it's just like, boom.
Focus on the important things in life.
He's loaded up before Christmas.
I've got 2 freezers.
He's expanding his meats portfolio.
I have 2
He is.
freezers. Jammer full.
You know what's funny? That is true. Meats don't clash.
Nope.
You just all the meats. You know, we can find clothes in our closet. That doesn't look
There's
good together.
nothing
Meats
wrong with-
always look good together.
There is nothing wrong with meat sweats on a daily basis.
That's what it's minus 27. Hell yeah, let's get it.
You've also never asked yourself that question getting dressed. I've seen when you go out in public.
I'm not worrying about clashing too much. It is Friday, Cami.
It's called power clashing.
Show a little respect on Hawaiian T-shirt Day, would you? Bonton's back. We're super pumped up. Greg's always a ton of fun, and we're working on a bunch of events that will be out in the public, where you people can come hang with us and enjoy some of the great product at Bonton's. It's the potato salad. It's just, of course, all the meat's great, but man, potato salad doesn't even sound like it tastes good. You have this, you're like,
and remember
I know it's if you're going to an
life.
event and you need to bring something and you are
Bang.
short on time, potato salad.
The Bonton
Does
potato
not
salad.
miss.
It hits 1,000.
Rhett's top 5.
Brett's top 5.
You're gonna get a cheesecake or a few slices.
So we're
of
at
cheesecake.
Brett's top 5 at Bonton.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, good.
You got to get cheesecake when you go out there. Really, really, really.
It's a good cheesecake.
Yeah,
there,
really good. You got to
4.
get the meat pies.
Oh, meat pie's so good.
You have to get the meat pies.
Yeah.
The baseball ribeye. Shut the front door. Unbelievable.
Baseball
Kidding
ribeye
me?
number 3.
The beef ribs.
Okay.
Pre-made already. Barbecue beef ribs, sauce. Like it's like that sandwich that lady was eating on your Pinder Report.
Shoveler, yeah.
It's everywhere. And potato salad.
Potato salad number 1.
Go get that for the weekend. It's going to be cold out. You don't go get it today. Shut your doors, turn the movie on, and just sit back and enjoy.
Take pictures, send them to Rhett, and we'll put them on the show
Flames
next
back
week.
to back, Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
You're
It's-
set.
it's freezing
Life is
outside.
Good.
Just settle in, turn on the fireplace, eat some meat. Let's go. Welcome back, Greg. We love you. Yeah, that's a hell of a top 5. Cheesecake, meat pies, baseball ribeye, beef ribs, potato
You've
salad.
got all
the food
all the
groups.
food groups, all of them.
Very good. Okay.
Beautiful.
We've got one last item left to get to. Let me see if I can't find this right now. Cami, we asked Red about his weekend. You're contemplating skiing? This is a real option, even though it might be minus 20.
I think Saturday is going to be the first day that I fully had off in a couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
So it might have to be the ski day back
Do you
in
have
for.
the onesie outfit, the ski thing, or do you?
No,
the onesies came back
I
in
want
big
one.
time,
I
yeah.
want one so bad, but actually my ski jacket, I scoured the internet to find one of the sun ice jackets that the volunteers wore for the 88 Olympics.
Yes.
So I've got the world's rattiest snow pants that I've had since grade 9 because I have not grown. And I have my sun ice jacket. They're both vintage. They're both vintage at this point.
I like that.
But it's funny because like I had all these like newer ski jackets and I was like, okay, I'm kind of warm. No, man, that sun ice jacket from 88 holds up. And I never get lost in it.
I love the good vintage 88 gear. I love it.
It came with a matching hat.
Yeah, remember Heidi and Howdy, the 2 mascots for the Olympics? We need to do a run of barn burner Heidi Howdy gear. Let's get at it. None of this Blue Sky City. We want Heidi and Howdy back. Right? There we go.
They'll lead us back to prosperity.
Well, here's the thing. You want prosperity in your life, Cami? It is the Service Big Share Contest now in full swing. Your chance to win $1 million. All you got to do, just save money. Like, but amazing. How do you do it? Well, anyone can enter. Just become a member and start saving with Service. Every $500 you save gives you 5 entries into the Service Big Share Contest. It ends on April 30th. Skill test is required. For rules, go to service.ca/win. You can also double your entries if you invest in something like a TFSA or an RRSP. Also, you can set your paycheck for automatic deposit in your service account. That gets you more bonus entries. Lots of ways to get more entries to win $1 million, which we'd all love to do. They're all at service.ca/win. $1 million. I'll
Life-changing
give me some
stuff.
Heidi and Howdy jackets if I got $1 million.
You
Yeah.
could even find there's matching snow pants for the Sun Ice jackets, and the snow pants are way harder to find.
Yeah. I feel like
We could outfit the whole
thrifters-
crew, and we could all go. swim
Cami, we win the
together.
service $1 million
All
thing.
right,
You're in
let's
charge.
enter.
All right?
I'm gonna go
team
like
snowsuits.
boost my bonus entries.
You're
here.
invited to Jasper next year if you get us the snowsuits. Mission sent.
I'll add it to my to-do list.
Okay. Crazy show. If you didn't get a chance, Cami and Mike had much more on the Ducks and Flames last night. It kind of was an afterthought with the massive trade. If you want more on the trade, we had a live stream last night. Frank Seravalli joined us after it became official. He broke the trade. Lots out there in the Barn Burner universe. We do have an Afterburner tomorrow night. I believe it's in the Dome, boys. So get ready to curse like a sailor and love that trade, I'm guessing, for
And we should
Mike
shout
and Jordan.
out, like Matt Coronado was robbed of his first
Yeah, they
NHL
gave the
hat
first
trick.
goal to
Yeah, so
Coleman.
initially it was a hat trick. Like he had the team gave him the pucks and he took the
Yeah,
picture
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And then official scoring change. Blake Coleman got the first one. Coleman comes out with a goal and an assist. But not to be overshadowed, Adam Klapka had his best game
Yes.
as
And
a
I
Calgary
thought
Flame.
he struggled mightily on Tuesday, so that's a really nice bounce back.
That's a huge win. And he actually said that he had a nice chat with Mr. Iginla. It really helped his
Mr.
confidence.
Iginla.
Mr. Iginla, as he said.
Mr. Iginla might want to talk to his son Joe. He had his first fight ever. Old man could share some info with him.
Yeah, when it's your first,
Yeah,
you learn. Trust me, the
lots
first
to
one
learn.
didn't go well.
There's a ton to learn from it. I'm sure it'll be better the next time. That will do it. Jack, have we've done everything we need to do, Jack? Do we need to yell at anyone? Or we
Give
any
RJ
comments? RJ
Smart
got the
enough.
internet and done just at the last moment. What do we need to do?
Very good. Good job.
All right. Thank you. We encourage you to come down to the motorcycle show here at the BMO Center and say hi to the folks at One Broken Biker and our pals at McLeod Law. Thanks for having us down here today. Congrats to the Flames on a monster trade. We will all be watching and eagerly anticipating the debuts of Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. Late game tomorrow against the Wings. See you, buddies.